So my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin at 118,400 US dollars. We even peaked at just under 119,400 US dollars. So the pump is in full swing. October is also off to a very good start right now. At least it looks very good. As I said, the short position hasn't been opened yet because I didn't have a long position down here in Bitcoin. Anyone who got in here should still have the remaining long position open. That means the short should be closed for now, and now we'll look at the other alternatives for how things could possibly continue for Bitcoin here. Of course, we're also looking at the altcoins, which are currently skyrocketing. That's a very good sign. Still, we need to keep the bigger picture in mind. We're missing data this week. We simply can't forget that either. And then, of course, we'll also take a look at Forex and, of course, the general markets like the DAX, etc. You know the drill. In any case, before we get started, let me remind you that, as always, there will be a live stream tonight at 7 o'clock. A nice relaxed hour where we'll once again take a close look at the altcoins, discuss how we'll position ourselves moving forward, and what the next steps are. So please don't forget. And otherwise, before we get into the video, leave a like, subscribe, and feel free to join the Telegram group. You'll find the link for that for free down in the video description if you're interested. There you'll always get the latest updates whenever I enter or exit trades. So all the take profit info, all the important details, you'll find them all in there. And if you're still looking for an exchange where you can trade all of this, feel free to sign up with my partner exchange WEEX. At the moment, you can secure up to 11,500 USDT in bonuses. Especially right now, during this period when altcoins are rising but could also quickly fall again, these kinds of bonuses are really not a bad idea to pick up some crypto or collect a few USDT. So feel free to sign up. You'll find the link down in the video description. Alright, but now let's dive in. So we can go ahead and gray out the sell zone because for now it's no longer relevant. Bitcoin has basically broken through all of our resistance levels to the upside for now. But what we do have to say, and we'll take a look at the heat map in a moment, is that all the liquidity on the heat map has now been completely absorbed. So looking 3 days ahead, we have no liquidity left to the upside. You can see that the largest accumulation is down here, roughly at the weekly open bar between 111 and 112,000 US dollars, plus of course also at 108,000 US dollars. Let's also take a look at the weekly time frame right away so we can check that off as well. There too we see that to the upside there's really not much left in there anymore. Largest liquidity accumulation, 108,000 US dollars. The funding rates are also slowly but surely rising again for Bitcoin. So hardly any negative rates left except on CoinX. Otherwise everything is back to normal, yes, within the usual time frame, or rather within the normal range at this point. Nevertheless, Bitcoin has worked through everything to the upside. First of all, we've left the resistances behind at this point since our first short entry to the downside. That means here was the bot short entry which is still running. Nothing has changed there. This would have just been an extra for everyone who went long down here. As I said, I'm not in here at the moment at all. I'm still short with my bot. It's still running and continues to accumulate position margin to the upside. Apart from that, and for this we need to quickly switch to the daily time frame, we still have a vector to the upside to be filled. That means theoretically, and I mentioned this a week or two ago as well, the 123,000 US dollars would be the last support for me, where I would say, okay, we could still reach that without any problem, even if there's no liquidity above, because we still have a red vector up here. That's also why the sell zone was set so high back then, where you could push the bot up a bit more at that point. But as I said, I'm being cautious about this. In the last 3 days, the pushes were definitely there. We liquidated a lot to the upside. Everyone should be aware of that, but otherwise I'm still not fully convinced by this move. What am I still missing for this? The best thing at this point would be, because if we take a quick look at the daily time frame again, I'll turn off the indicator here. At least now we finally had a daily close above these resistances. That's a good sign. If we now manage to get a retest to the downside, and by retest I mean aside from our negative price levels, roughly this price range of 112 to 111,000. That would fit very well at this point to get another higher low in here and then possibly start a rally upwards from here, and also to completely rule out this whole A, B, C, D, E scenario, which is still possible. That would be the most bullish case. That means a pullback to really flush out everything that has come in over the last few days, and then maybe heading towards 130 to 150,000 US dollars. That would be the bullish case. The bearish case would still be that we drop down towards at least 102,000 US dollars, and then we continue to see where things might go from there. So, as I said, I'm generally bearish about the whole thing anyway, news-wise and so on, also because we aren't getting any news at all this week. Even these important economic data are now suspended due to the government shutdown, at least for the next few days. Unemployment claims, non-farm payrolls, PPI producer prices, retail sales, employment index, GDP data, export and import data. These are all data the Fed is waiting for. The Fed needs these for a possible interest rate decision. And still, if we take a look at the Fed Watch tool at this point, which shouldn't be underestimated, we're now at a 99% chance that we'll get a rate cut, and even a 1% chance that we'll get a half percentage point rate cut. In my opinion, it's completely absurd at the moment to even think about this as long as we simply don't have this data available, because the Fed needs it. Otherwise, to be conservative, we have no data. Well, then we can't make a rate cut, because we also don't know what's currently happening in the economy. So just be a bit cautious there. Otherwise, take your profits everywhere here. Stop loss entries should be set everywhere anyway, and we'll look at the rest tonight in the live stream. Solana, no, not Solana. Ethereum has now also reached my sell zone. So for everyone who entered a long trade down here, the second take profit has now been reached. We've broken through this resistance here. That's also a good sign. At this point, that's it for now. Otherwise, 50% of the position is closed, and at the same time, a 25% short position has been opened. So, XRP, what's going on with me today? Ethereum has now also broken above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart for the first time. The only thing that bothers me here as well, volume. That's really not present here. Let's switch to the 1-hour time frame. We had a nice breakout here at 4,149. Great, a lot of volume, really a lot. And since then, we've just been drifting around up here. Massive divergence again, no volume in the market. I don't like that at all, which is why I'm short here for now, and we'll wait and see. That means I won't be making any further adjustments to the long position here. 50% long, 25% short, still open. The short will probably be closed at either 4,580 US dollars or 4,666, one of the two, but the long position will remain open for now. If we get a pullback somewhere in this area around 4,150, I'll probably take the first take profit on the short here and maybe even increase the long position again. We'll see when the time comes, but for now I'm also positioned short here. Solana is performing perfectly also in the sell zone here. You might remember this was our sell zone that we marked at the beginning of the week. It's working up perfectly. We've now also hit take profit too here. So that means 50% of the position is closed here as well. The rest is still running. Let's see if we can reach 237. That would be the inefficiency, or maybe 240, the 0.786 level, if we can still get there. I haven't gone short here yet. Ethereum, yes, because I have a bit more confidence in it, but Solana, because of meme season and all that, I already know what's going on again in the meme sector and so on. It's too risky for me to place another short order here at the moment. We're hedged with BTC, short position, and Ethereum short. You don't have to short everything just because the sell zones are there. The sell zones are primarily there to take profits and possibly to set up a hedge as a short, but you don't have to short everything everywhere. That doesn't make sense. That's why I'm just going to keep riding the Solana wave for a bit longer and hope that we even break through the 240 US dollars to the upside. As things stand now, that would mean we'd make about another 6% profit to the upside. Let's see if that's how it turns out. At the moment, things aren't looking too bad. Otherwise, the hype is still a bit tricky in my opinion, but it's holding relatively tight at this point. As you can see, I've already marked the buy zone. I think there was more about that in the live stream this evening as well. Otherwise, XRP is pumping too. We have Chainlink. Let's take a quick look at that as well. Yeah, that's also pumping really well at the moment. It has now also reached the sell zone, so has Chainlink. Definitely take the first profit and just wait. You can see the altcoins are exploding really well at the moment. Even something like APT finally, but also their APT. We have to see if we can get above the yellow line, otherwise it still looks good. But as I said, just be extremely careful with this. Take profits, don't let yourself get unsettled just because everyone is posting about Uptober and whatever else. Yeah, I have to jump in now and do this and that and that. Chill. It's only the 2nd of October. There will be plenty more opportunities to come. Patience is everything. Take profits, chill. Just saying this here because I know there are tons of people out there again who are running around completely crazy, probably running into walls and who knows what else. Altcoin season, you know what I'm getting at. Chill. Alright, let's move over to the traditional markets. Gold, yes, the sell zone has been worked through, or rather the take profit is in. It's going well. We need to adjust our PP level again. It's a good sign if we have to move it up, but at the moment things are looking pretty good. So, new buy level, $3,600 to $3,400 as things currently stand. As I said, just the fact that we're missing all these numbers could still have an impact also on gold and silver. and I already posted it in the Telegram group yesterday. Silver, we did it. That was yesterday at 4 o'clock. Finally, our take profit up here was triggered, just barely. The 2.414 Fibonacci retracement level, $47.60. Perfect. So here as well, all 3 take profits are now secured. Gold, 3 take profits. Silver, 3 take profits. I'm not short anywhere at the moment. I'm just waiting for a pullback so we can open new long positions there again. That's my current plan for gold and silver at this point. All right, then we can really skip euro versus US dollar by now. That thing is as good as dead. Nothing is happening there at all right now. Then DAX is pumping upwards, very, very good. We have a shutdown, everything is pumping upwards. That's a very, very good sign. Nasdaq, however, is still very, very restrained at this point, you have to say. A marginal new all-time high. Okay, a bit skeptical, but all right. S&P 500 is breaking completely out of the sell zone to the upside for now. Bearish divergence. So I would be extremely cautious at this point, and the volatility index, yes, is consolidating with higher lows here. These are small warning signs, but as I said, it doesn't mean you have to sell everything completely now. Just take profits and everything is fine. That's all I'm trying to say. Otherwise, right? Because someone else asked about Circle, whether now is a good entry point because of the pullback. For me at the moment, this is just consolidation. So right now, I'm not really giving it much thought. As I said, the pullback is there. For me, it's still a buy zone here because wave 2 is still possible. As long as, in my opinion, we don't fall below this low here, below $123, things still look relatively good for us to manage a trend reversal to the upside. Otherwise, yes, this was a longer update video, but there was also a lot to discuss, at least that's how I felt. Otherwise, we'll hear from each other again this evening at 7 o'clock, right on time for the live stream. I'm looking forward to it. Otherwise, check out the WEEX app and feel free to join the free Telegram talk and Signal group. And that's it from my side. I wish you a great and successful day. Take care of yourselves. Until then, ciao ciao, and as always, stay crypto.